Hey guys, thought I'd talk to you today about a quick little video about connecting your leader to your fly line. Now there's several methods that you can use to do this, but I'm going to show you my favorite one. And I've got a reel with me where I've already got a kind of a primitive form of connection that I normally like. And some of you may have heard of it. It's called a loop-to-loop connection. And as soon as I get my leader off here, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about, what makes it a loop-to-loop. Just run that dude right off there. Alright, so here's the interface between my fly line and my leader. And you can see I've got this big loop right here tied, and the leader itself and the end of it has a loop. And they're brought together in what's called a loop-to-loop knot or handshake knot. But if you'll notice on the end here, what I have in the end of my fly line, let me take this leader off. What I have in the end of my fly line is kind of an annoying knot. You can see how annoying it is. I'm trying to get this leader off and it just, there, finally it slide over that. But you can see that big old knot right in the end of my fly line. That I mean, it's good to have a loop-to-loop connection like this. It's still quicker than having to re-knot a leader on every time you wear a leader off. But that big knot still kind of slows things down a little bit for getting in the way of making your connections. And also, if you were to use this type of approach, you would notice in casting it, it's gets a little bit more wind drag, and sometimes when it lands on the surface of the water, it kind of splashes down and doesn't make the best presentation possible. Sometimes calmer water or just smarter fish key on those little movements, whatever created surface disturbances created by whatever. In this case, it's a knot in the end of the leader. So what I'm going to tell you about, what a better way to do that loop-to-loop connection is with a braided loop connector. Now you can find these at fly fishing shops. If you're lucky, Walmart will have them. But the last time I went to Walmart, I didn't really find them. That could just be my local Walmart, though. I guess always check where you know is going to be cheapest first, because fly fishing gets expensive, just like any other sport. I think I picked these up today. They may have been about $6, somewhere around in there. I got mine from Sportsman's Warehouse. And I guess, like a Dick's Sporting Goods would carry them, or just any other chain sporting goods store you might try out. But anyway, without further ado, let's put one of these bad dudes on. So I'm just going to grab my scissors here and cut that knot off and say goodbye to it. There goes 99% of my troubles right there. Right, I'm already a better caster just for cutting that off. And I'm going to show you how you put one of these little braided guys on. So what you want to do is you want to take your fly line, and you kind of, like I said, this is braided. You want to just sort of work that fly line into the tube. Okay, see, kind of got that there. It may be hard for y'all to see, but I'm trying to do it the best I can. You can see kind of like where the tube had frayed open a little bit where I pushed the fly line in, and that's all you want to do. You just want to break that fray up and then have your fly line sit right in the middle of it, and then pinch that fray, and then do what I call the inchworm technique. Right, as you push on it this way, you can kind of see that that braiding expands, right? And then when you pull it tight, it contracts. So you just inchworm it on, right? Push your fly line in, let that end come out, and then just inch your way through. So let's see here. Let's try this again, so you can get the idea of what's going on here. Yep. There we go. We'll just push that dude right on there. You can see, you don't have to go super fast. Just get it done right. Now it's starting to, now I've kind of got it worked on there. See what's happening. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just pushing and pulling, kind of like a finger trap. Remember finger traps when you were a kid? Same principle. Or if you are a kid, do you know what a finger trap is nowadays? They've lost popularity for sure. That's just what I do. I just inch it on there little by little, and my ultimate goal is to work it up here where the loop is. That braided line is doubled over on itself, and I just want to work this guy all the way up to that point, which may take a little bit, but inside that tube now, the fly line is right up against the doubled up section of the loop. That's right where you want it. Now you'll notice on the braided loop connector, this one's kind of hard to see because it's clear, it's got a piece of plastic tube. And what you want to do when you get your fly line worked up all the way to that point is you want to grab that plastic tube and slide it down. See how I'm doing? Just slide that dude right on down, not too far. Watch it when you get to the ends. You just want to slide it down just enough right there to cover the end of that braided section. And what that's going to do is that's going to be like a placeholder. It's going to keep it from that braided tubing from fraying any further than what you've already frayed it. And this piece of tube's long enough. I'm just going to go ahead to save me some time in the long run. I'm going to go ahead and pull it down a little bit further, put the rest of those frays in there, so I don't have to worry about trimming them later with scissors or something like that. It's just going to make a nicer connection. And now what I have is a more streamlined approach to attaching my leader to the end of my fly line. And what I'm going to do now that I've got that on, you can do two things from here. This is a shrink tubing that I have on there, so you can either just super glue it in place, or I've heard about some people using an epoxy. I don't know if that's really necessary. Maybe a little overkill going through, mixing up the components of epoxy or something like that, or just like Zap-A-Gap or any other super glue you can think of. That's one method you're going to go about doing it, but I'm going to use heat on mine, because I think it is the fastest. I got my trusty Made in America lighter with the American flag and the eagle on it, already guaranteeing this to be a successful operation. And I don't submerge it in the flame. I just bring the flame up close enough to kind of, you saw it bend there a little bit. That's all I do. I just want it to get warm and shrink down around that tubing. Shrink that tubing down. That's all I'm doing here. Just like that. A little bit more heat. On that side. There we go. And we're in business. I can pull on that guy now and it's not going to go anywhere. My frays look good. I've got a loop-to-loop connection now. So now my next step is to connect my leader back to the fly line. And you might notice something little bit about this leader. It's a little different. It's made by Orvis. It's called a braided butt section leader, and it's essentially it's a little darker color, but it's the same material that this braided loop connector is made out of, and it ends in another loop at the other end where you can just run a section of tippet off of it, and it kind of speeds up things a little bit better too, because now what you got is you got a reusable butt section of leader that you don't have to worry about tying into or things like that, and it makes rigging a little bit more faster. You can just rig up some tippet. You know, I usually do like two 2-foot sections. I think the butt section was about a little over, what is that? That's probably about like 4.5, 5 feet, if you can see all of it. Probably pretty close to 5. So then, you know, I usually just do two 2-foot sections. That drops me out to about a 9-foot leader, which is perfect for the southeast, you know, Tellico, Hiwassee. And then if I want to make it longer, I just add me another section of 6X for like still water in places where trout could be a little bit more spooky. But you see how I fed it back through. I just make my handshake knot or my loop-to-loop knot again, and now the leader is on there and in place, and all I got to do is wind that up, and I'm pretty much ready to fish, other than, you know, threading the rod up, tying on a fly. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you next time. One last thing I forgot to add on those braided loop connectors is when you buy them, make sure you check what weight of line they are. Like these that I bought were for 3 to 7, and I was putting them on my 5-weight reel. So that's just something to be noted on. You know, I mean, if you needed to go on a 4-weight line, but you buy the 8-foot side or 8-weight line connector, it's probably going to be a little loose and it's probably not going to work. And vice versa, if you buy something sized for you know, the 5-weight up to the 8, that if you buy the one size for a 5-weight and you try to put it on an 8-weight line, it's probably going to be too small and be real difficult to get on. So just make sure you keep your eyes open to that and get your size right. Okay, once again, thanks for watching. Comment below, click to subscribe. I'll try to keep my videos coming fresher to you, and we'll see you. Bye.